The bill title being read by the Deputy Speaker in Parliament, and Christchurch MP Sir Christopher Chope shouts object. Rules in Parliament mean it only requires one MP to shout object to block the bill's progress. And you heard cries of shame from the Minister for Women, Victoria Atkins, and a fellow Tory MP, Will Quince, heard after that objection. You must have been absolutely gutted.
I was, yeah. I was really upset. It's been a really long year of hard work. And also, it's frustrating because the entire government's behind me, but it was just this one man who obviously objected.
So why? Why would he... How could he possibly object to something that should be there in the first place?
Yeah, it's a difficult one. I went up to him, actually, because I was sitting opposite him when he did it. So I came out and went straight over to him and asked him why, to tell me in his words why. And he basically just said he objected on principle because it hadn't been debated. But obviously, behind closed doors for sort of 6 months, we've been debating it with the MOJ, so it should have...
Had he read the bill? Did he know what the bill was about?
No, he hasn't read the bill, because he has no issues with the bill and what we've written. He's not read it, but he's annoyed at the system, really.
Well, I mean, we're all annoyed at the system. We're annoyed that it takes so long to get something to that point in the first place,
yeah.
And even more frustratingly annoyed with the system when you get to that point and then it can be knocked out when it's got the backing of everybody, including the Prime Minister.
Yeah, it's really difficult, but... I mean, I wouldn't have got this far if I focused on all the negative bits. So, like, I know that this is rubbish and I've spent all weekend being upset about this, but he's on board now, the entire government's on board now, and it is going to go through. He released at the weekend that he said that he agrees with, you know, banning upskirting. Well,
the thing is that he's got a record of blocking private members' bills, as you said, because it's the process he objects to. But you spent a year, 4 o'clock starts in the morning. You know, you wonder how he would feel had he spent that amount of time on something and one word said out loud it kicks it into touch temporarily, we hope. He's objected to numerous bills, safeguarding wild animals in circuses, protecting police dogs from being stabbed, did that on the same day.
That was Finn's law. We had that story on our sofa. That was the same, so that's gone.
So the national standard for taxi licences, voted against bills to promote equal gay rights. So you know, this is obviously enormously frustrating for you.
Yeah.
You have to begin part of the process again, but your lawyer, Ryan, he's talking to the Ministry of Justice now, yeah?
Yeah, so as I came into the studio, I've just found out he's talking to the Ministry of Justice right now. They're having a good discussion. They're so on board, it's unbelievable. Like, everyone is on board with this. Lucy Fraser, the Minister for Women, Victoria Atkins, who just mentioned, they're so ready. And when we came out, they hugged me and said, this isn't the end of it, we'll make sure it happens. So Ryan's talking to them right now. I'm going to find out what that's about when I get out, and I can maybe talk about it in the next day or two. But hopefully it's good news.
So let's just say then this is good news and this bill gets put through whichever way it gets through. What will that mean? What will change?
So it will mean that it's a sexual offence. It's a listed sexual offence in England and Wales. It will mean that every situation of it is covered. So whereas it sometimes often the conversation is just for sexual gratification, this is harassment, distress, alarm for women. And we can cover off every single situation it happens in. And it means that women will be supported and listened to when they report it.
And so, I mean, there has been widespread coverage of what happened and the reaction to that. Were you surprised by the reaction?
I was, but like we always say, you know, it's a no-brainer. Like, who could go against this? It's something that we all agree that should be outlawed, and there's not one person I've met that's disagreed with it. So the outpouring of support was amazing. But I mean, if that hadn't happened, I would have been very surprised.
So, but I mean, I know that you, as you said, you've spoken to him, and your lawyers are now picking up the pieces. And it is, as you say, a no-brainer.
Yeah.
The fact that this one guy can stop it in its tracks. For you, you are being, and I think you have to be, terribly diplomatic.
Yes, you do. I think it's really important that I do, because I'm a normal person. I don't have a political background, a law background. I came into this and started this campaign, but I've realised pretty quickly that I can't change the system. I have to work within it. So I have to see the opportunities and exploit those and keep us going, and that's what we'll do. That's politics.
Georgie has got in touch. She says, this just goes to show how out of touch with modern-day society MPs are. We need a drastic change with politics and more younger people involved. Although I guess in your experience, this is just one person. It seems that a lot of the other people that you've been working with and have worked with you have been very helpful and open.
That's the thing that I just think is really important to get across here, is this isn't the Conservatives have blocked it. This isn't the government has blocked it. This is Christopher Chope Chope has blocked it. Every single other person I've been with and talked to and chatted with, not one person has been against it, and they've all been passionately behind it. So it's going to happen.
And he was knighted 6 months ago, wasn't he?
But he's said the government's been hijacking time that's rightfully that of the backbenchers. It's about who controls the House of Commons on Fridays, and that's where I'm coming from. I actually support the bill that was there before the House. The suggestion that I am some kind of pervert is complete travesty of justice. It's defamatory of my character. Very depressing that some of my colleagues have been perpetuating that. The thing is that, you know, that for all of us out here who look across the river and look at that House, we don't care about your parliamentary process.
Yeah.
You know, we're not fussed about that. What we care about is the fact that it's there, upskirting, the fact that on the same day, you know, a law for stabbing police dogs. Yes, sort your process out elsewhere, but don't wreck other people's plans when they finally get in front of Parliament.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, there's so much work that gets into getting it to this point, especially as a normal person. That's a huge undertaking. So, yeah, so disappointing. And I don't, you know, I'm not really interested in his arguments about the system. But I have agreed to meet with him and I have agreed to get him on side. And it sounds like he's already on side, so it's going to happen.
Good.
Well, let's just say that let's watch this space. And then hopefully in the next couple of hours you'll find out some good news. And just well done. I mean, power to you for doing it. So you've been amazing. Very good.
Well done.